I'm going to pray for you and then let's go. Heavenly Father, thank you for the word that you've put on Phil's heart. Pray you give us ears to hear it and open hearts to receive it. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. I was just chatting with Adam the other week, and we were just kind of chatting like this is just a hard season. I feel like we say that word a lot, but it really is at the minute. And I kind of had this sudden light bulb moment, and I don't know if you ever get these. The only thing I could kind of compare it to is if I'm sort of looking for my keys in the morning, like I'm already late and I've lost my keys, and it's like, where have they gone? It's like, oh, they're on the table, like that's where they are, and then you find them straight away. It was just one of those moments, and it was just this thing where like everything we kind of stand for as a Christian seems to go against a lot of today's culture. By putting ourselves out there and living as followers of Jesus is such a radical and bold move, because so much of how other people and the media tell us how we should live goes against kind of the core of what it means to be a Christian. But we know that boldness, of like a stepping into this life that is far greater than anything we could like imagine or like provide for ourselves. So there's just a few points I wanted to touch on about why following Jesus is countercultural. But what is counterculture? So counterculture is, like this is from the dictionary, is a culture whose values and norms of behaviour differ substantially from those of mainstream society. So rather than as Christians, rather than living by the values and norms of mainstream society, as followers of Jesus, we live by the way he wants us to. And if we're doing this and we're going to try and live like Jesus did, then we're going to be living pretty countercultural lives. For example, if somebody hurts us or upsets us, often we think, or people say, like, just go back at them, go and hurt them back, they deserve that. But actually Jesus tells us to love them. And it says in Matthew 5 verse 44, but I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. And it can be really hard when people hurt you, but Jesus teaches us to love and forgive, and to show people the grace that God shows us, and that is being countercultural. Secondly, there's this whole idea, I think, that we know what's best for ourselves, but as Christians, we want to look to God and the Bible as a guide on how we should live our lives, not Twitter or the news, which can sometimes be really hard to work out, like what's real, what's fake, is that picture filtered, is what they're telling me about, are they being paid to say this? And but as Christians, we know that by following the Bible and by following God, we are following what's true. And so when we turn to him, we know that there's no lies or confusion or deception, because it's truth. And as Christians, we put aside the idea that we know best and we let God take the lead. Just this year, for example, I've seen God move in my life in ways I couldn't imagine. I wanted to be a vet. I love animals, I really do. And so at school, when it kind of got to coming a little bit more serious about like the future and like uni and stuff, I picked my A-levels around wanting to be a vet. But at the same time, I felt really clearly God tell me to take a year out. And I was really confused by this. I was just like, but that's not really what I want to do. Like, I want to go to uni, or my friends were going to uni. I didn't want to like miss out on this great uni experience that everybody talks about. Didn't want to be left behind. But at the same time, I felt, because God was telling me to do this, I didn't want to give in to the pressure of other people, of what they thought would be best for me. God had planned, like, this year so much better than what I had thought would have been going to uni would have been. Like, I've moved out, I live with Bonnie and Robin, which is so cool. I have such amazing friends, and I've grown spiritually and personally just in crazy amounts compared to probably what would have happened if I went to uni. So so I think there's a lot about being concerned about ourselves, and it's all about us, but it shouldn't be about us. It should all be about God. We should be living a life that is all about God. And if we go out for ourselves and choose what we want and what we think is best for ourselves, then we're just limiting ourselves, because our tiny little human brains cannot even begin to imagine or comprehend the life that God has planned for us. So when we kind of go against it, when we live for God and not for ourselves, when we live more of a life than we could ever imagine, And at the core of that, by following someone else rather than thinking that we know what's best for us, that is countercultural. And if we go with the flow, with what society tells us, and by not putting Jesus first, we aren't going to see transformation. And if transformation is something we want to see in our own lives, in work, in school, and right here in Stevenage, we have to be different, because something about us has to be different. Otherwise, nothing will change.
Amen.